Chosen one, stop. Whatever you were about to do next, let it wait. Because something in your spirit has been ringing like an alarm for weeks now, and you have been treating it like background noise. That feeling that you are running out of time, that quiet panic that everyone else figured out the thing you are still missing, that sense that you are dangerously behind, and that the gap is widening while you sleep. I need you to hear me clearly. In the first 30 seconds of this message, that alarm is real. But the story you have been told about what it means is a lie. You think the alarm is telling you that you failed. It is not. The alarm is telling you that you are about to be moved, and your spirit can feel the engine starting before your eyes can see the road. I know how this season has felt. You watch people younger than you walk into things you have been praying about for a decade. You see doors open for people who did not pray, did not weep, did not stay faithful in the dark the way you did. And a voice inside you whispers the cruelest sentence a chosen person can hear. It says, you missed your window. It says, God moved on and forgot to take you with him. If that sentence has been living in your chest, I want you to notice something right now. You are still here. You are still listening. The hunger did not die, and dead things do not hunger. The fact that you still ache for the promise is the proof that the promise still has your name on it. If you have felt this strange, urgent pull today, the one that made you open this message when you had 100 other things to do something for me. Comment the words, I am not late. Not because a comment changes heaven, but because your own hands typing those 4 words will preach to the part of you that has been believing the opposite. Say it where you can see it. Here is the truth about being behind that no one explains to the chosen ones. There are 2 kinds of late. There is the late that comes from negligence, from wasted years, from running the wrong direction. And there is the late that is engineered. The late that God himself built into the timeline on purpose, because what he is preparing for you needed you to be exactly this seasoned, exactly this emptied, exactly. This done with the shallow version of the dream before he would let the real one arrive. You are not the first kind of late. You have been sincere. You have been trying. You have been knocking on doors until your knuckles bled. Your problem was never effort. So, if it was never effort, then the delay was never punishment. Sit with that for a moment, because it changes everything that comes after it. The reason this feels dangerous is that you can sense the acceleration. Something in the air around your life has shifted in the last few months. Prayers that used to echo back empty have started to feel heard. Strange coincidences have started stacking. People from your past have resurfaced. A scripture, a song, a stranger has said the exact thing you needed at the exact moment you needed it. That is not random. That is the sound of a season changing gears. And the reason it feels like pressure is that you are being asked to keep up with a pace heaven is setting, not one you are setting yourself. But there is a problem, and I am going to name it plainly, because you came here for truth and not for flattery. There is something operating against your ability to receive this acceleration. It is not the devil in the way you were taught to picture him. It is quieter than that. It is a condition you have been carrying for so long that you have stopped noticing it is even there. And it is the single reason that faithful, anointed people stand at the edge of their breakthrough and somehow cannot walk into it. I am going to tell you exactly what that condition is later in this message, and I am going to tell you what a small group of researchers in New York discovered about it, because what they found explains something spiritually sensitive people have felt their whole lives, but have never been able to put into words. For right now, I only want you to hold one question in the back of your mind as we go. What if the thing slowing you down was never your faith and never your worthiness, but something that can actually be repaired? Hold that. We are going to come back to it. But first, you need to understand the real diagnosis of why this season has felt the way it has. Because once you see it, the panic loses its grip, and the urgency turns into something useful. It turns into momentum. Let me show you how to tell the difference between the two kinds of late, because your nervous system has been confusing them and paying the price. When you are truly off course, there is a numbness, a drifting. You stop caring, stop praying, stop expecting anything at all. That is not you. The very fact that the ache woke you up today, the fact that you feel the clock instead of ignoring it, is the signature of someone who is on course and early to a door that has not opened yet. Anxiety at a closed door is not failure. It is the body of a runner at the starting line, muscles tight, waiting for a gun that is about to fire. There are signs that you are inside an engineered delay rather than a wasted one, and I want you to count how many of these you recognize. The first sign is that your old dreams stopped fitting. The things you wanted at 25 feel small now, almost embarrassing, because something in you grew past them while you were not looking. That is not loss. That is your capacity expanding to hold a heavier assignment. The second sign is that your closest relationships have been rearranging. People have drifted, fallen away, or revealed themselves, and it has hurt. But notice that the ones who left were the ones who could not come where you are going. Heaven does not subtract people by accident. The third sign is that you have become almost allergic to pretending. You cannot fake enthusiasm anymore. You cannot sit in rooms that used to comfort you. Your tolerance for the shallow version of your own life has collapsed. That is not bitterness. That is calibration. You are being tuned to a frequency that the next season requires, and part of that tuning is losing your taste for everything that was beneath it. The fourth sign is the strangest one. You feel both exhausted and expectant at the same time, tired of waiting, yet unable to stop hoping. That contradiction is the exact emotional fingerprint of a person standing in the final hour of a long delay. And the fifth sign is the one that brought you here, a sudden, almost physical sense of urgency, as if a hand pressed on your shoulder and said, "Pay attention now." That is the sign that the delay is ending, not the sign that you missed it. The acceleration you feel is the runway, not the crash. So before we go on, release the word that has been crushing you. You are not behind in the way you feared. You are being positioned, and positioning always feels like pressure right before it becomes power. Now let me take you into the actual reason the gap has felt so impossible to close. Because there is a specific mechanism at work, and once you see it, you will never panic about your timeline the same way again. Here is the diagnosis, and I want you to read it slowly. The reason the promise feels close but unreachable is not that God is withholding it. It is that you have been trying to receive a whole season through a divided mind. You have been praying with one part of yourself while another part rehearses every reason it will not work. You have been reaching forward with your faith while your fear quietly grips the back of your shirt. And living split like that for years does something measurable. It does not just tire your spirit, it thins your capacity to perceive the very doors that are opening around you. Think about what that means in practice. A door can open 3 feet from a person in a fog, and they will walk right past it, not because the door is hidden, but because the receiver inside them is operating at half power. You have probably done this. You have probably stood inside an answered prayer and felt nothing, because the part of you that was supposed to recognize it had been worn down to static by years of overthinking, overcarrying, and bracing for disappointment. That is the gap. The gap was never between you and God. The gap was inside you, between the part that believes and the part that cannot feel, the belief land. Let me reframe the entire way you have read your last few years. You called it falling behind. I want to call it what it actually was: It was overload. You were not lazy. You were carrying the emotional weight of 3 or 4 people while running on a system that was never designed to stay in survival mode this long. And a system stuck in survival cannot dream, cannot plan, cannot receive. It can only defend. So when you accuse yourself of wasting time, understand that you were not wasting it. You were surviving it. There is a dignity in that which the shame has been stealing from you, and I want you to take it back right now. Here is the first breakthrough I want to hand you. The opposite of behind is not faster. The opposite of behind is aligned. A person who is aligned does in 1 clear month what a scattered person cannot do in 5 exhausted years. You do not need more speed. You need your 2 halves brought back into agreement so that your prayer and your perception finally point the same direction. The moment that happens, time itself seems to bend toward you. Things that took others years begin to find you in weeks. This is what people mean when they say God restored the years the locusts ate. He did not rewind the calendar. He restored the receiver, and a restored receiver harvests faster than a broken one ever could. If something just unlocked in you reading that, if you felt the relief of finally being understood, mark this moment. Comment the words, "The gap is inside." That is not a confession of weakness. That is a person who just located the real problem after years of fighting the wrong one. And the moment you name the right problem correctly, you are already halfway through it. Now let me give you the second breakthrough, because the first one only diagnoses. This one begins to heal. The divided state you have been living in is not a character flaw, and it is not a sin. It is a condition. And conditions, unlike character flaws, can be addressed directly. This matters more than almost anything I will say today. For your entire life, you have treated your scattered, foggy, anxious inner state as a moral failing. You prayed harder. You repented for it. You begged God to give you more discipline, and it never fully lifted, because you were applying a spiritual solution to something that also had a physical address. You cannot repent your way out of a tuning problem. You have to actually retune. That single shift in framing is worth more than 1,000 motivational speeches. Stop fighting the fog as if it were proof of how far you have fallen from God. Start treating it as what it is. A receiver that has been running in a noisy room for so long it forgot what silence sounds like. The good news that follows from that reframe is enormous. If it is a condition and not a curse, then it has a remedy. And if it has a remedy, then your best season is not behind you at all. It is sitting on the other side of a repair you did not know was available. I told you a moment ago that I would come back to what a team in New York discovered about this exact condition. I am almost ready to bring that forward, but I am holding it on purpose, because a solution only becomes useful once you understand the full shape of the problem it solves. And there is one more layer of the problem you need to feel before the answer will mean anything. You need to see what is waiting for you on the other side of the repair, because that vision is the thing that will give you the courage to actually change. Let me paint it for you now. Before I do, there is a third breakthrough you cannot skip, because the enemy of your acceleration is hiding inside it. The third breakthrough is this. The reason you keep slipping back into the divided state, even after powerful moments of clarity, is that nobody ever taught you that clarity is a state you maintain, not a prize you win once. You have had mountaintop moments, a conference, a worship night, a season of prayer where everything felt aligned and possible. And then within weeks the fog rolled back in and you blamed yourself for losing it. Hear me, you did not lose it because you were weak. You lost it because you returned to the same noisy conditions that scattered you in the first place, and you had no tool to bring yourself back to center. This is why willpower has failed you so many times. Willpower asks a tired, divided system to force itself into alignment by sheer effort, and a tired system cannot force the very thing exhaustion took from it. It is like commanding a drained battery to simply try harder to hold a charge. What you needed was never more force. It was a way to reset the system itself, gently, repeatedly, until the aligned state stopped being a rare visitor and became your home address. The chosen ones who walk in consistent power are not more disciplined than you. They simply found a way to keep their two halves in agreement on ordinary days, not just on holy nights. And notice what that does to the question of being behind. If alignment is something you can return to on command, then every wasted hour stops being a permanent loss. You are no longer racing a clock you can never beat. You are learning to operate from a place where the clock works for you. A person in alignment is never truly behind because they pull the right opportunities toward them at a speed that makes linear time almost irrelevant. The whole panic of falling behind was built on the assumption that you were stuck at half power forever. Remove that assumption, and the panic has nothing left to stand on. So let me ask you to do something internal right now, before we go further. Put your hand somewhere over your chest if you can. Take one slow breath, and as you exhale, let go of the running. Just for the length of this breath, stop trying to catch up. Feel what it is like to simply be here, present, not behind, not ahead, just held. That stillness you feel for half a second is your true operating state. Everything I am about to describe is designed to take that half a second and turn it into a way of living. Now let me show you exactly what your life begins to look like once the repair is made, because you deserve to see the destination before you are asked to take the road. Close your eyes for just a moment if you are somewhere safe, and let me take you forward in time, not far, 90 days from now. I want you to step into a morning in that near future and feel it with me. You wake up before the alarm, and the first sensation is not dread, it is quiet. The low hum of panic that has been your background noise for years is simply gone. The way a sound you stopped noticing finally stops, and the silence after it is almost holy. You lie there for a second, and you realize you are not bracing against the day. You are curious about it. You get up, and your mind is sharp, in a way you had almost forgotten was possible. The decision that used to take you 3 anxious weeks, you make in an afternoon, and it is the right one. And you know it is the right one, without the second guessing that used to follow every choice like a shadow. Ideas arrive cleanly. The right words come at the right time. You sit down to do the work of your calling, and the fog that used to swallow whole hours is not there. You are present. You are here. And being present, you finally see the doors that were open around you the entire time. Let me show you the second face of that future, because it is not only in your mind, it is in your relationships. The people you love stop getting the exhausted, half-present version of you. They get you, fully here, fully warm, fully able to listen without your thoughts running somewhere else. Your children, your partner, the ones closest to you, feel the difference before they can explain it. Something in the home settles, because when the one carrying the household comes back into alignment, everyone under that roof inherits a piece of the peace. You were never just healing for yourself, you were healing the air that the people around you breathe. And here is the third face, the one that breaks the spell of being behind for good. The opportunities start arriving at a pace that almost frightens you. The connection you prayed about for years suddenly materializes in a single conversation. The provision you could not figure out finds an unexpected route to your door. People begin to say the same strange thing to you, that something about you has changed, that you seem lighter, clearer, like you finally arrived, and you understand what is happening. You are not catching up to a timeline anymore. The timeline is reorganizing itself around an aligned person. This is what the restored years actually look like from the inside, not a frantic sprint, a steady, almost effortless harvest. I want you to anchor that future with a single act right now, because what you declare, you begin to draw toward you. Comment the words, restored and aligned. Say it as someone who has already stepped into that morning, not as a beggar hoping for it, but as a chosen one, calling the future they were promised into the present, where they stand. Now I need to close the loop that has been open since the beginning of this message, because I told you there was something a small team of researchers in New York discovered about this exact condition, the divided state, the receiver running at half power, and I said I would come back to it. I want to tell you now why I waited until this moment to bring it forward, because what they found is not just information, it is a solution. And a solution only becomes useful once you understand the full shape of the problem it solves. You now understand the shape. You feel the cost of the divided state in your timeline. And you have seen what the aligned life makes possible. So you are finally ready to hear the rest. But before I bring it forward, I have to be honest with you about something, because I promised you truth and not hype. There is a reason this repair has stayed hidden from sincere, faithful people for so long. It is not because heaven was hiding it. It is because the answer sits in a place most spiritual people never think to look. It does not come dressed in religious language. It comes from a laboratory. And the bridge between what science discovered and what your spirit has been craving is the most important thing I am going to say in this entire message. Let me build that bridge for you now, carefully, the way it deserves to be built. There is a fourth face of that future I did not show you yet, and it may be the one your spirit is most hungry for. It is the return of your purpose. For years you have carried a sense that you were made for something specific, something that mattered, and the cruelty of the fog was that it stood between you and the very assignment you could feel but could not reach. In that near future, the assignment stops being a frustration and becomes a road. You stop asking what you are supposed to do with your life, because from an aligned mind, the next step is simply obvious. You see it, you take it, and the calling that felt impossibly far away turns out to have been waiting one clear decision at a time, blocked only by a receiver too scattered to hear the instructions. Notice something about everything I have shown you. None of it required you to become a different person. The sharp mind, the present heart, the accelerating doors, the recovered purpose. These are not new abilities you have to build from nothing. They are your original settings. You had a version of this clarity when you were a child, before the world taught you to live braced and divided. This is the part that matters most. What is coming is not the arrival of a stranger. It is the return of yourself, the you that existed before the overload, the you God has been trying to hand back to you this entire season. That is why the word behind has been so poisonous. Behind assumes you are missing something you never had, but you are not missing it. You had it, it was dimmed, and it can be turned back on. Restoration is always faster than construction. A person building from zero needs years. A person restoring what was already theirs can change in a matter of days, because the foundation was never gone, only buried. This is the secret the panic could never understand. You are not late to build a house. You are early to recover one that was always yours. So here is the bridge, and I want you to receive it without the wall that spiritual people sometimes put up when science enters the room. Truth is truth wherever it is found. A sunrise does not stop being a gift from God because an astronomer can explain it. And the discovery I am about to describe does not stop being part of your divine restoration just because it was confirmed in a research setting rather than a sanctuary. In fact, I would argue the opposite. The fact that the very thing your spirit has been crying out for can now be measured, repaired, and restored in a way you can actually do at home is not a threat to your faith. It is an answer to your prayers arriving through a door you were not watching. Heaven has always done this. It sends the answer through the channel you least expect, so that when it arrives you know it could only have been arranged. Let me show you exactly what was found, who found it, and why it changes everything about the timeline you have been grieving. There is a study that won the Nobel Prize in 1981, not from a church, not from a seminary, but from a research laboratory. A scientist named Dr. Roger Sperry proved something about the human brain that almost no one sitting in spiritual communities has ever been told. He showed that the brain is built in two halves, two hemispheres, and that these two halves were designed to work in synchronized partnership. When they fire together, in sync, a person operates in what researchers call whole brain activation, and in that synchronized state, the very things you have been aching for appear. Clarity, intuition, the sense of being guided, the effortless knowing that the child version of you had naturally. Here is the part that will stop your breath. Researchers found that around 98% of young children test at the level of creative genius, living in that synchronized whole brain state as their default. But by adulthood, fewer than 1 in 1,000 still operate there. The synchronization does not vanish because you failed God. It erodes because modern life, the noise, the screens, the chronic survival mode, gradually pulls the two halves out of step. That divided state I diagnosed in you earlier is not a metaphor. It is a measurable, physical reality, and what is physical can be repaired. Before I tell you what the repair is, let me tell you about two people. A woman from California described what it felt like before she found this. She had tried everything: prayer, journaling, every practice her community offered, and she kept arriving at the same place. She believed the words, but she could not feel the reality behind them. After 10 days, she said something cleared. A channel that had been blocked was suddenly open again. Not because she tried harder, because the receiver had been repaired. A man from Texas described something similar. Someone who had held things together for everyone around him, while his own inner life went thin. He said prayer had started to feel like talking into a wall. 2 weeks later, he woke up, and the fog that had been so constant, he stopped noticing it, as fog was simply gone. That is, because of what a team of neuroscientists, led by Dr. Daniel Barone in New York, built. They took over an hour of clinical neural sync technology, the kind of whole brain activation protocol used in specialized medical settings, and through years of compression and refinement, they turned it into an 8-minute targeted auditory sequence, 8 minutes a day. Headphones, eyes closed. That is the entire requirement. They call it the genius switch. It is not a meditation app. It is not a mood sound. It is a targeted auditory sequence engineered based on the Nobel Prize research of Dr. Sperry to bring the two hemispheres back into sync and restore the whole brain state that was your default in childhood. The genius switch is not for everyone. It is for the chosen one who understands that God prepared not only the promise but the mind that has to walk into it. The person who has been sincere for years, who has done the work, who has felt the call and kept returning to it even when nothing was cooperating, and who is finally willing to stop treating the fog as a character flaw and start treating it as something with a specific address. Most people who hear this will scroll past because they have accepted the dimmed version of their mind as permanent. You are still here. That is not coincidence. That is the exact kind of persistence that belongs to the person this was built for. Let me tell you what it costs, because it will surprise you. Colleagues told Dr. Barone this would be a fair value, even at $500. In person, neurofeedback runs $300 an hour. A home machine can cost $7,000. It was not released at $500 or $200 or $100. It was released at $49. And today, on the direct page, there is an additional $10 off, which brings it to $39. Along with it come 4 free additions. A guided visualization from a top-rated creator, a grocery guide that saves $100 a month, a 100-year-old text on attracting provision, and a printable guide of 5 daily habits. All of it is backed by an unconditional money-back guarantee. Listen once, listen 80 times. If it does not do for you what it has done for over 18,000 people, every dollar comes back, no conditions. I want to frame this the way your spirit needs to hear it. The provision God has already placed near you becomes visible in the synchronized state. In a way, it simply is not in the divided one. Not because the provision is new, because the receiver that can recognize it is finally restored. What has been arranged for you is already in motion. The only question is whether you arrive at the meeting point with the receiver online. One thing worth naming plainly. If you search common platforms for anything that sounds like this, you will find imitations. Dr. Barone and his team studied them, and most carried no real neural sync at all. The mechanism is what makes the difference, and the mechanism only exists in what his team built. The direct page is the only verified source, and that is where the link below points, in the description and in the pinned comment. You can read everything there before you decide a single thing. Now hear me carefully, because this part protects your heart. The tool does not replace God. It does not replace obedience. It does not surrender for you. What God is doing in you is not conditional on any tool. But a tool that restores the receiver simply gives what God is doing more of what it was designed to land in. If your spirit just confirmed something while I was speaking, do not argue it away. Comment the words, "I receive the repair," as a chosen one who refuses to keep walking through their breakthrough season half awake. Let me answer the objection rising in some of you, because I would be thinking it too. You have tried things before. Sound files, apps, practices that promised clarity and delivered a few good days before fading. I understand the fatigue, but hear the difference. Most of what is sold targets only a sliver of the picture and leaves the two halves as disconnected as it found them. What Dr. Barone built works at the level of hemisphere synchronization itself, the actual root of the divided state, using a layered protocol refined over years of clinical work. That is a different mechanism, and a different mechanism produces a different category of result. This is also why effort never fixed it for you. You cannot force two halves into agreement by trying harder. You retune them, gently, a few minutes at a time, until alignment becomes your ordinary baseline, instead of your rare exception. The chosen ones who walk in steady clarity are not stronger than you. Many of them simply stopped fighting the fog by willpower and started restoring the receiver directly. The deeper current of this message, though, is not a tool. It is what God does once the receiver is finally clear. So, let me bring us back to that, because the most important thing still waits ahead. And for the chosen one who felt something stir when the mind was mentioned earlier, that door is still open in the description and the pinned comment. It is a small step, but small steps taken from a clear mind have changed entire seasons. That is the only place I will point to it. Everything that remains in this message belongs entirely to something deeper, and it is time we return to it. I want to speak to who you actually are now, underneath the panic of being behind. You are not a person who fell off the path. You are a watchman. You are one of the ones who feels the shift before others do, who senses the season changing while everyone else is still asleep at the wheel. That sensitivity you have carried, the one that made the waiting so painful, is not a weakness. It is the very equipment of your assignment. The ones who feel time most sharply are the ones built to move first when the hour comes. You were never behind. You were on watch. And the watchman always feels the dawn coming before the sky shows it. You are also a cycle breaker. Somewhere in your line there has been a pattern of almost the breakthrough, almost the healing, almost the inheritance, and then the door closing one step too soon. You feel it, because part of your assignment is to be the one who finally walks all the way through, not for yourself alone. For everyone who comes after you, and quietly, for everyone who came before you, and never got to see it. When you step into alignment, you are not just changing your timeline. You are ending a pattern that has been waiting generations for someone strong enough and clear enough to break it. That someone is you. That is why the resistance was so heavy. Heaven does not assign easy weight to ordinary people. Let me put an ancient face on what is happening to you, because you are not the first chosen one to feel dangerously behind right before the turn. Think of Joseph, sold, forgotten, imprisoned, watching year after year pass, while the dream he was given as a boy looked more impossible by the day. By every human measure, he was behind. He had wasted his best years in a cell for something he did not even do. And then, in a single morning, with no warning, he was pulled out of the prison and placed second over an entire kingdom before lunch. The years did not slowly catch up. The position arrived all at once, because the delay had been preparation the whole time. The cell was not punishment. It was the waiting room of an acceleration so sudden it would have broken a man who had not been seasoned by the wait. You have been in the waiting room, and like Joseph, you have mistaken the waiting for abandonment. But the same God who let the years pass was the one preparing the throne. When your morning comes, and it is coming, it will not feel like slow progress. It will feel like a door blown open. That is how heaven repays an engineered delay, not in trickles, in sudden, undeniable arrival. So let me give you something practical to carry, because revelation without a tool fades by morning. Here is the discipline of the aligned. Each day, before the noise of the world reaches you, take a few minutes to return your two halves to agreement. However you do it, whether through stillness, through breath, through the repair I described earlier, the principle is the same. You do not begin your day by reacting, you begin it by aligning. A mind tuned first thing in the morning meets the day from clarity instead of chasing clarity all day and never catching it. The scattered start their day already behind. The aligned start theirs already home. That single change, alignment before reaction, is the difference between a year that drains you and a year that delivers you. And carry this second tool. When the old panic returns, and it will try, do not fight it with more effort. Name it. Say plainly, this is the fog, not the truth. The fog says, I am late. The truth says, I am being positioned. Naming it strips its power, because the panic only rules you while you believe it is reporting reality. The moment you recognize it as static from a divided system, it loses its authority over your decisions. You stop making choices from fear and start making them from the clear, quiet center that was always underneath the noise. Now I want to lead you through something before we close, and I want you to actually do it with me, because this is where the message stops being words and becomes an experience. Settle wherever you are. Let your shoulders drop. Take one slow breath in and let it go. Picture your mind as a room that has had two radios playing different stations for years, the noise of them overlapping into a static you stopped being able to hear past. Picture a hand reaching over and turning one of them until, suddenly, both are playing the same song. Feel the room go quiet and whole. That single, unified sound is the real you. Now in that quiet, see a door in front of you that you have walked past 1,000 times in the fog. This time you can see it clearly. There is light coming from under it. That is the season you thought you missed. It was never gone. It was only waiting for you to be clear enough to find the handle. Put your hand on it. Feel that it was always unlocked. And now, gently, let me bring you into the closing of this message, into the part where what you have seen becomes sealed in you. I want you to take a breath of gratitude, not forced. Just a quiet acknowledgement that you are still here, still hungry, still chosen, after everything that tried to convince you otherwise. There is grace in that survival, and it deserves to be honored before anything else. Now let me lead you to release. Whatever weight you walked in carrying, the word behind, the shame of the wasted years, the fear that the window closed, I want you to picture all of it gathered into your hands like sand. And on this next breath, open your hands and let it fall. Let it go. You do not need to carry the accusation into the season that is opening. Release the timeline you were grieving. Release the comparison. Release the version of the story where you missed it. Let it pour out of your hands and onto the ground, and feel how much lighter you are without it. And from that lightness, rise into who you are. Say it with me, in your spirit if not out loud. I am not behind. I am being positioned. I am not too late. I am being prepared. I. I am not the one who missed it. I am the one it was waiting for. My mind is being restored. My season is accelerating, and what was stolen is coming back to me, in full and faster than it left. If your whole heart agrees with that, seal it where you can see it. Comment the words, I am right on time. Let that be the last word your fear hears today. Because a chosen one who declares their timing back into alignment has just done the very thing that pulls the future toward the present. Hear this final word over your life. You were never running late to your destiny. Your destiny has been running toward you, patient, certain, and exactly on schedule. The acceleration you feel is not danger, it is arrival. So lift your eyes off the clock and onto the door, because the one who set the timing has already written your name on the other side of it. It is not too late. It was never too late. It is, right now, exactly the appointed hour, and so it is.